I think the players at Spurs today have been they're a disgrace, bordering on being a disgrace.
One thing you can't ever do is question Harry Kane. For me,
no, I'm not. I said he was a fabulous player.
Yeah.
I'm questioning that interview he just gave.
I know,
Where
but you can't.
Where he's been told the questions beforehand, and he's trotted out and trying to get a message across of positivity.
If there's one player that stood up this season, it's Harry Kane. The team that's struggling, and the amount of goals that he has scored for Tottenham is incredible in terms of how bad they've been this season. So one thing I'd never question Harry's determination, desire to do well.
I tell you, when I played with leaders, I tell you what happens, what leaders do. They dig you out. Mm. When it's not going well, you misplacing passes, miss an opportunity, they dig you out. Does Harry do that for Spurs, or does Harry look after Harry?
No, of course he does. I know. In the dressing room, Harry is the one that, if you look at the
I'm
squad...
asking a question, I don't know anything.
No, if you look at the squad, I would say they're lacking a lot of leaders. Harry's one of those leaders, Hugo's, but they don't have 10 of them. They have 2 or 3 of them, and Harry's certainly one of those. So I'd never ever question Harry. I know you're not questioning him, and for me, he's been incredible this season, considering how bad Spurs have been.
I never ever get fed up saying this. You will not be successful at a football club unless you've got good senior pros. I'm sure Gary would
I think he'll be sick to the stomach with how it's gone there. He'll be sick, Graeme, and I know he's got to say, he can't just sit there and start slagging his mates off.
If he's sick to the stomach, he doesn't do that interview.
Right now, because Lloris being out, he's the captain.
It's a different type of interview.
I read that statement where he talked about we've gone away from our values in the last few years. I saw that as a dig at Daniel Levy, to be honest with you, because I felt as though he was referring to the appointment of Jose Mourinho, then Nuno, and then Conte. I think that's what I think. I read, maybe reading too much into it, but I felt as though, and I'm not quite sure, I said it was an unlikely marriage between Daniel Levy and Jose Mourinho 4 or 5 years ago when he appointed him after Pochettino. I thought that then he would come away from that style of manager with Nuno. He didn't do, and then he went again with Conte. They were always going to end up in the way in which they have. You know, about 6, 7 years ago, I said that Daniel Levy, I felt, was the best operator in football, because at the time Pochettino was the manager. He'd just come out of a really successful and good period under Harry Redknapp, it was brilliant to watch. Pochettino then took it on and got to a Champions League final. They got to a second in the league. They had Paul Mitchell in recruitment. They were building the best stadium in the world, and they had the best training ground in this country and one of the best in Europe. So I felt at the time this was a really good operation for a club that's probably the 6th, 7th best in this country, and the 6th, 7th probably for a long, long time. However, I don't know what's happened to Daniel Levy in the last 4 or 5 years, and I read Harry Kane's quotes as being, why have we gone with these types of managers which don't suit the style of club and the style of play? I read it as that, Graeme. I don't know. I don't think he was talking about the values on the pitch. I think he was talking about why have we made these what would be sort of the quite confrontational manager appointments. They are confrontational.
But Gary, you've been there. You've been part of a very successful football club. You know, it's ultimately down to the players. I mean, managers can talk to the blue in the face, but when you go out and cross this white line, it's up to you. You deal with what challenges in front of you. You make sure you do your job properly, and if you are having a good day, you help those around you. I look at that Spurs side who consistently underperform. I think some of them are good players, but they've just picked and chosen when they want to be at it, and that's unforgivable in my opinion.